There is a truck.
Oh god, hey there everybody, it's Yellowlord, and I'm in a bit of a rush today, because I was eating and I had some other stuff I needed to take care of, so bit of a late introduction today, so I'm starting about 2 or 3 minutes in instead of the usual 5 minutes before or whatever. So, yeah, there's some alerts going on, but I'm not really thinking about that right now. So, yeah, I'm coming from the
on Tuesday.
I'm coming from the Pokemon Presents from a couple hours earlier.
This is like
so,
I was gonna be the mocap.
Yeah, I'm here to watch,
like,
as per usual. I don't want to miss this one. I didn't want to miss for sure. I was just in a rush today, so...
The yeehaw dance.
Oh,
the problem is the mocap system doesn't get the lip bite when he dances. So it's not,
that's why, and that's half the thing.
Yeah.
So,
marker resolution.
There's a lot going on, and this is Devstream, just to check, 152. I usually would summarize what's going to happen today, but, yeah.
AKA music video contest today, so if you have an Octavia series of
just the usual
together to one of the songs music video, you can hop over to the forums and learn more about that. The contest is launching today, so very exciting. And I should also mention, just in more general housekeeping news, that as a company at Digital Extremes, we're not looking to be going back to the office for quite some time. We're talking kind of like September at the earliest. So as a pre-piece of information, any TennoCon efforts this year will be digital. So
so another digital TennoCon this year.
Anticipating travel,
I can't blame them.
It's not going to happen. It's going to be digital this year.
Yeah. The conventions have already canceled their plans once again, so
is the life for us this year. So
it's not that surprising.
I'm anxiously waiting my vaccine, but I think I'm going to be waiting a long time here in Ontario.
I mean, same. I'm probably going to be one of the last people to be getting the vaccine myself.
The elderly jokes.
So
I know.
Maybe you can.
Scott, come on, don't do that. Please don't do that, Scott.
I think in March.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
really?
Good
God.
You assholes.
Oh my.
Actually, speaking of aging, what a great segue.
Anyway.
Speaking of aging, do you guys know what's special about today? Any thoughts?
I actually do not know, quite honestly.
9 years of Warframe.
9 years of Warframe?
What?
8 years of Devstream.
Oh my god! 8 years.
February 27th.
Oh my god! Look at that old menu. Look at that old HUD. Look at that old office.
You're an egg boy.
Oh my god! Steve has hair.
If the calendar
Scott,
one day forward,
Scott looks like
as
they described. Apparently, he is an egghead, or
8 years later, February 26th.
Well, shiny.
We're still going.
Whatever they said. Eggman.
This is
sure,
first
Eggman.
Devstream ever.
Egg boy, shiny egg boy.
I know.
Anyway,
there is going to be a lot of Q&A in this Devstream.
Oh boy!
So I figured I'd start it off.
A lot of Q&A, eh?
A question from me to you guys. What would you tell yourselves if you could go back and time travel and get in the frame here and say something to your younger 8 years ago self who was starting Warframe? This was closed beta still.
Freaky. Isn't it still in beta?
I don't know. I think we were just all so scared back then.
I don't know if I can really blame them.
Not to be scared.
I mean, Warframe has been.
Maybe not, because that probably.
You never know with Warframe, honestly. There might be some brief moments where I have to look at my phone for various reasons. So I do that.
That picture right there.
So,
if you don't kill yourself, it's almost over. You'll be able to join.
Actually,
soon.
I'm just going to pause very briefly, but it's.
Would have told that person.
Actually, you know what? Never mind. I can wait.
That got really dark.
I'm here for the Devstream, and I want to get through the Devstream before I do anything else today.
My office is
I'm not going to miss this, that's for certain.
Yeah, you weren't even on the project.
Although going forward, I don't like. I'm not actually sure I'll be able to make future ones. I probably will have to watch them after, unless I can somehow get the day off.
I think that was an early trauma that I had.
Frost Prime Blueprint.
Prime Blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it was an early trauma.
That was
I feel like deleting the database over Christmas was your.
There's only like 1,000 players at that point.
Well,
what were you thinking, Rebecca?
Oh, what was I thinking, or what would I tell myself?
What would you tell yourself? Yeah, what would you tell yourself?
I don't know. This is a hard question. I guess it's not fair.
So we turn it around.
I was just thinking, sorry, but
I don't know. I
guess I'll do that now while they're going at it.
The good times will outweigh the bad, and
Okay.
We all went dark here.
I know it is hard.
What are you people? What are they talking about right now, man?
8 years of running a game as a service as a team like Warframe has had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but we're still here, we're still doing it, and there's plenty to look forward to. So, including a platinum prize, which we'll do.
Ah, yes, the usual platinum prize that I
You
never
just
involved
fell into
in.
that trap.
Yeah.
It's very sleek.
Whenever there's problem, give away platinum.
Yeah, whenever there's a problem, just give away platinum. Sure. Real Devil's Reaper.
The first platinum
That kinda
prize
fits with the
winner
Wraith's
is
theme.
Real Devil's Reaper. You've won 1,000 platinum.
Yes,
Real
good
Devil's
job to that
Reaper.
person. Enjoy your
Congratulations. Visit
platinum.
our Twitch page, and we'll hook you up after the show. So
I don't know. Either feed it to like Helminth or just use it. I have no idea.
Are you ready?
I'm sure the Helminth
Are
probably
they
would
all
like
gonna be as
platinum.
fun as that?
Actually,
Yeah,
maybe.
clearly we're not ready, so.
Yeah,
I know. I don't know why I
we
asked.
flubbed that pretty hard. So.
So
Yikes.
I should say the questions come from a mix of some YouTubers and Twitch streamers who have been with Warframe. Some of them more recent, some of them possibly as long as that screenshot. Like, we're talking 8 years. So variety, and of course from the forums as well. So this is very classic Devstream questions from people. So let's just jump right into it. Our
Let's
first
go.
question comes from, well,
I hope
first
somebody
in the
asked about
spreadsheet is from
companions. So,
this is an easy question.
So
Why
from
is
you,
Yeah, from me. Also from me. Why is Shy your favorite Warframe YouTuber?
wait, what?
No answer?
Who are
Awkward
you
laugh,
asking
fine
this
with
to?
me.
We
No.
like the job that you do, Rob. We like it's really good.
Oh, thanks.
For Shy, no.
The comedic summaries.
No, quiet Shy,
Yeah.
no.
I
Those
actually
are-
think that's a
those are
legit.
adorable.
You must-
I think that's a legit question.
like-
kind of legit.
Shy's, yeah, she will
That
clip
would be
that.
what comes-
Of course she's gonna clip that, why wouldn't she?
Anyway.
Oh,
And
man.
Shy also asks.
very
what hap-
distilled feedback.
Oh, Shy
Yeah,
asks.
exactly.
She's the one asking the questions here.
TLDR stuff. Love
Keeping
it.
us very honest.
Well, Shy also asks what happened to this.
Oh! Hey, it's those two. The sabotage
Oh,
Grenier
yeah, Jeff.
enemies that
Shy
you fight
got
for the
two
void key.
questions?
Everyone
wait.
got two.
Yeah, what the
Yeah,
heck happened to
yeah,
these
what
two?
happened?
I forgot about the sisters.
We finished it.
You
So
did.
why isn't it in the game
Where
yet?
where is it?
The art's ready, so why isn't it in the game yet?
That's a good question.
I guess they just forgot. I
There
have
was
no
a
idea.
production breakdown, and the left hand wasn't talking to the right hand.
Okay.
Oh, good
It's true.
God.
I didn't even know it was done.
Jeff, it's your fault.
Scott was on the stream when we, I think, showed that they were.
I might have deleted the bug database accidentally at one point, and we lost some of that stuff. So, yeah, we have stuff like that. Sometimes we show, sometimes we don't, and there'll be often times where we might have a quest or an event, and we will go back, kind of looking in the pantry to see what hasn't been shipped, and I think those look really good, ripe for that kind of thing. So.
A lot
Okay.
of the Warframe
Thanks for the
development's like,
reminder.
it's like making wine. You know, we put stuff in, and it has to age the appropriate amount before it comes out, and we can distill it into something that you're going to enjoy.
Sure,
Wait,
let's go with that, Sheldon.
It's
Let's just go with
It's
that.
highly planned, detailed.
We knew you were.
Let's
gonna
just
ask
go with
question.
that.
We've been
Nope.
waiting for it.
Those are, we call those vintage bosses.
Vintage.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Vintage bosses,
Oh, right.
sure. Anyway.
All right, let's jump into
So
questions
Willie-
from iFlynn. Question 1. Is there any chance in the future that the Steel Path reward vendor could be revised or revisited? I find Steel Path enjoyable as it allows me to put my gear to the test versus high-level enemies, but I have a hard time justifying playing it to how rewards are gained. If I could play Steel Path to farm up as many Umbra Forma as I want, I would play it non-stop because I have all the Umbra Forma I want. But because I need to wait 8 weeks at a time to get one Umbra Forma, the
Oh.
grind isn't appealing enough to me personally.
I think that's a good question.
Yeah, Sheldon.
Yeah.
Blame Sheldon? The blame Sheldon, I guess. The blame Sheldon
Change it
squad.
from Devstream to Blame Stream.
Yes, just blame the developers.
We just keep
So, pointing fingers and all that.
Jeff, where's that boss?
Yeah, where's
I
the...
think it's a
Speaking
good-
of which,
I think
where is the third orb
that's a-
mother?
like, that's
Kind
a
of
legitimate
wondering they're
concern.
ever gonna get to
We've seen
that.
Quite a bit on Steel Path. I think once we're past, I don't know where the segue is. Like if I'm supposed to segue with this, but with no segues, no segues. I would say once we're past our next update, that's what we'll look at for sure. We'll be looking at updates for rewards in a couple places, and Steel Path is one of them.
Good.
I love it. Love
Reassuring.
it. I can say just from the Steel Path release experience, we definitely did the 8-week rotation pretty intentionally, just because we thought like, hey, we could have like a reliable schedule, but more Umbra Forma is always welcome, so we'll certainly be looking at that after. the next.
We'll just make it rain on Burford. Yeah.
No, not necessarily. Like maybe for those who earned them, that makes sense. But
Can I sneak a comment from Chad in?
you can.
Oh, that's good.
I was just
Oh God, we
watching
lost Scott.
people-
Scott's gone again.
Rage quit.
He does this every time.
Yeah.
He rage quit.
He knew what
I
the
want to
next
fix my
question
hair.
was.
He
I
rage
did
quit. You
see
gotta be
something
serious.
About, waypoint fix fly by, and that's been some technical changes to Warframe and doing offline analysis of all the. We have a lot of content in Warframe now, so now we have a system that is doing offline analysis, and the level dezeiners are going back through the backlog and fixing those places.
It feels like Scott always disappears every stream at least once. I just find it funny. Wonder what he's
Gigs
doing.
and gigs of assets to go through, but that is now something that's been automated just a few weeks ago.
Awesome. Waypoint Utopia incoming. Second
And
question.
every
from-
day that number goes down.
It does. I've actually seen the bot.
Yeah,
does,
every
it
day
does.
I
It's
check
really
it and it goes down.
Yeah,
It
it's
does-
pretty cool.
It is going down, yeah.
Our next question from Iflin, our second question. Is there a chance that the intrinsics grind could be reduced or sped up / made more worthwhile? I'd love to farm up intrinsics, but in Railjack's current state, I don't find the grind to be rewarding enough for the time required to level up.
Seems like a theme here with iPhone.
Taking notes.
We get
Grind
the
your way.
Give me the right
Yeah.
rewards for the grind, right? Yeah.
yeah. I'm just like there you go.
Part of the Railjack stuff that we're working on currently is a lot of changes to the core of Railjack, which includes basically reset of the intrinsic what you get. So rejigging / removing / adding of stuff, and then we're also allowing you to respec as part of it.
Okay.
So you'll be able to get your intrinsics back and respend them based on new information. So that's hopefully we've leveraged the community to find out which intrinsics people felt were really awful and which ones aren't used very much, and we've improved those or / removed them. And yeah, so hopefully the next revision is much more worthy of your time, and
Hopefully.
the Railjack content, which is much more integrated into the core of Warframe, will also be much more worth your time.
Yeah, and I think that's
To
actually
get those
it.
rewards.
Yeah, we'll just
Yeah,
jump right.
it's not subtle. Is that covered in a section, Rebecca?
Well, yeah, I figure, you know what, I'm kind of adapting here live, but since we did just say those things about Railjack, let's talk about spring 2021. As far as the community knows, they know spring 2021 is going to have some Railjack content, and I've made this little
Command
sort of
intrinsic.
part A, part
Okay.
B for everyone to start sort of rallying their expectations towards, planning their time towards. So for spring 2021, Railjack 3.0, as listed in this dev stream, but may not be final shipping name, is going to be basically the next update on PC. We're looking to get it out in spring. It's going to have Corpus Railjack content. The Command Intrinsic is coming. It's going to have full Railjack 3.0 with a dev workshop to come, and it's going to come out on PC first.
Of course.
Then,
Well,
later in
I
spring
mean, maybe not of
2021,
course, but
Update
still.
30, Call of the Tempestari is coming. This is going to have the Warframe quest with Sevagoth, Zephyr Deluxe, and we're aiming to simultaneously release this quest and update on all platforms. So this is basically the two
That would be nice,
spring
for sure.
2021 rallying points for the community. And when we talk
Update
about
30 is SimShip.
yes,
Yeah,
so
okay.
PC release first here, and then update 30 coming simultaneously. Now, when I say dev workshop to come, I think a really important part of the dev workshops is basically giving a little bit of a, what are we actually trying to achieve? And as you mentioned, Scott, like making things worth your time. So when we look at Railjack 3.0, and when you're looking for that workshop, we're going to have it posted March 8th. So we're going to have the write-up for everyone on that time. So just, I guess just over 2 weeks from now, or less than actually, we'll have that write-up for you. And what you can expect
Yeah,
from that workshop
I do admit Railjack
basically
is a little bit repetitive
what we're
of just
looking
the
to solve.
skirmishes, so
The
I guess
host's
some variety
Railjack
would be
determines
nice.
Too much, so we're going to be introducing something called a harness to unify.
I like that background,
It's
though.
Are
two
we going to talk
different-
about that, or are we just
I do
Talk
have.
about that.
skipping over the bullet points?
No, yeah, we can talk about the harness. I have visuals to go with it if you want to.
Oh, you do? Ooh,
I
fancy.
do. I know.
Visual?
Well, I just when I say harness, what does that mean? What does that
Yep.
look like? So, do you want to go through the list, or do you want me to go into harness mode?
I don't know. We can go into harness mode. I guess the harness is basically the Railjack was all on the Railjack, so all the avionics and all of the upgrades were living on your host's Railjack. So you're kind of tied to whatever the host brought to the table. which was not very fun. So now we're moving as much as we can possibly stand to kind of a personal level. So all of the avionics are moving onto your person or your Warframe. Allowing you to bring your own progression to everyone's Railjack.
This is nice.
So when you jump on the piloting, it's your mods that are going to be active for your gameplay. So if you have a lot of mods that are geared towards piloting, Railjack speed and stuff, then you can slot those in and be a better pilot. If you go into someone else's Railjack, then you still take those with you.
Okay,
the
good.
Equipment is left on the Railjack side and the customization, so there is some progression on if you own a Railjack. But all
very
the
nice UI, to say the
avionics
least.
and all the battle avionics and tactical avionics have been moved to personal harness level, I guess we're calling it.
Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot to take in here for these screenshots. Clearly, avionics have become, let's say, mods, so to speak. So when we look back to our bullet points, we know that a thing to solve is Railjack is too different, but not different enough. For example, avionics and mods, Dirac and Endo. One thing to solve, of course, is many intrinsic ranks are seen as not worth it, as Scott said. So really revisiting a lot of those. Onboarding is still rough and not so intuitive to how to get your Railjack, how to play it.
There's a lot of friction in that as well. I think you also have this later on. There's a lot of friction into just getting into a Railjack mission. So smoothing all those edges out as well is part of this.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And you'll also see that the Railjack interior itself is a bit overly large and not streamlined for the pace of Warframe play. So we are renovating the interior. Of course, a big thing, as to iPhone's point, is the lack of connective content, such as relics, Warframes, and rewards. So Sheldon, I might send this one over to you as a thing to solve.
Yeah, and there's lots of, the reward slate is quite exciting for what we're doing with this. And I don't know what we've talked about yet in terms of Void Storms. But
yes, the Void Storms.
Coming with Void Storms will be, that kind of makes sense. Energy from the Void, you should be able to crack relics.
Oh, Venus Proxima, yeah.
So that's going to be that kind of gameplay that you love
the
to
Orphixes.
do, and people have asked us all the time, like how do we bring more core Warframe into Railjack? Well, that's one of the key rewards that is from core Warframe that now you're going to be able to do when the Void Storms come when you're on your Railjack. So I think that's going to be a cool aspect. We're unvaulting a couple primes, so we're gonna have some prime relics in there for you to find. There's a couple of the Warframes that have been some of the hardest ones to get, like Ash, off the Mimics. We're gonna move that into some of the missions inside Railjack, and I think that's.
Did you just say Mimics?
Step on what
you mean the sentient Mimics?
A lot of this experience is going to be about playing core Warframe, about going on your ship for an amount of time, but then you're getting to the new mission types that you get to play. So the amount of rewards that are kind of cycling into this
don't get me started
exciting,
on Nidus.
Yes.
Nidus Prime will be easier to get than Nidus.
It's a great connective layer as well. So it's rewards. We're bringing, and like you said, when we say unvaulting, we don't mean through the store. We mean we're just restoring relic. Like some relics are just going to come back.
Those relics are just going to be permanently in there, and they won't be cycling through the Prime Vault program or anything like that.
Yeah, they're just in game. And then of course there's just general mission voting and matchmaking issues, and then the skirmish only versus the Grenier Railjack having every node say skirmish, regardless of what points of interests are in there. So there's really a lot to solve, and this is just a note of things we're thinking about. The full workshop with all the details on what is the harness, what's happening to your avionics, will all come out on March 8th. But this is just sort of the discussion of such a workshop that will be coming later.
Yeah. So for the people that have engaged in Railjack and earned the stuff that's in there, anything that's changing or being shifted around, we'll either be doing a reset or a refund. So like the grid and avionics.
Yeah, sorry if I'm not talking too much during this section.
That will be refunded.
At least for me, I've been very much behind on Railjack in terms of just playing it.
To take into account to make sure that
the changes sound nice.
Get their stuff
I'm mostly just looking at what's ahead in the main game beyond Railjack.
In a different way.
But these are some good changes. Glad they're listening to the community at least.
Grind as well, because we're really reducing the grind for even starting out and building a Railjack the first time, but also all of the wreckage repair and those types of things. We're drastically reducing all of the friction in that system, and all of you people who have went through it and who have who have paid the price to do that, we're going to make sure you're taken care of. But we definitely know that you had to work hard for that stuff, and we don't want you to feel like because we've changed it that went to waste.
Yeah, and I think I've just been watching chat. It's really difficult to pick out individual questions because chat is scrolling quite
Pets
quickly.
2.0.
I think watching people's reactions is
I mean,
definitely
I still think that's the thing they should talk about if they haven't already. Somebody say Pets 2.0, because I can't do that.
Great, this is really bad. I hate this. I love this. What we have kind of on the docket is a Railjack update, and so we felt pretty strongly that Railjack systemically was not in a good position for us to give you that update without making changes to the design and to the meta progression of it. So I think if you're a player who maybe bounced off Railjack because of the grind, this is going to be for you. If you are a player that's worried that all we're doing is Railjack stuff, well, of course, the answer is we have a Railjack update that we're delivering to you, and we're making these changes so that that update is even better rather than, canning or something like that, something terrible like that. So,
yeah, and I mean, to your point,
patience, read the workshop. You're going to have to try it. The really cool thing, I think, with the harness, or I hope we don't call it something like that, but the really cool thing about the harness,
I blame you for that,
is that you will be able to be, there's going to be less influence on the host ship for the amount of time you put into Railjack. You'll be able to come aboard and hook into the Railjack and have your mods working. I think that's going to be really healthy for it and reduce that host dependency. And then all the stuff that Sheldon's team is doing to reduce how hard we made it to get it, which was just absolutely absurd, and how complicated the systems were to build your Railjack
right.
and upgrade it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll bounce back into this into Railjack depending on how the update does. But again, for me personally, it just
when we say unify with the rest of the game, I think in the past Devstream, I can just show you a little example of this. Is just like a gameplay test I was doing earlier of Corpus Railjack. So I'm in my Railjack.
Oh my!
Corpus capital ship, and last stream we mentioned that we're bringing Orphix Venom back. So once I've done the Railjack portion of this mission to get access to the highly secured Corpus ship, so I've had to take down some Corpus ships, some specific areas. I can then go in and get my Orphix Venom on, or in this case Orphix. So I got my capital ship here. My Umbra is ready to go, and if you are a great Eidolon hunter, you're used to the arcane gameplay at night.
Now I see it.
But Orphix is back, which means arcanes. Another way to get arcanes is coming back within the.
Well, this is I know what I'm doing from now on.
Back. Not only are you on your Railjack, you also have.
Are the Corpus enemies the exact same?
So we're unifying.
Or is it going to be a bunch of Corpus crewmen with Supras?
Railjack.
Because I hate those things.
And core reward loops like.
But I mean, hey, I approve of this.
In one
as long as my ship doesn't blow up.
Part of the Corpus Railjack expansion. So.
Yep, and just again reacting to people's concerns in chat, which again, anytime we announce changes to anything, people can maybe have a knee jerk to be worried. Scott, I don't think it would be fair to characterize these changes
Steve.
as dumbing Railjack down.
I mean, maybe you're kind of right, but still.
No, I think it's just fixing some of
no more Eidolons. I would happily do
made,
Orphix Venom over Eidolons any day of the week.
Like putting all the stuff onto your Railjack.
It's a lot easier, especially when I can just spam the basic one over and over again. I think anyway.
So allowing you to mod and personalize
actually, I don't know if I can,
experience.
But I can probably go up to a good amount before I have to quit.
Your own battle avionics. You'll have your own resource pool, so you'll have your own Revelite to deal with.
Although
you won't be in a shared pool. That basically means that if people don't craft it, you're in trouble. Those things will regen. The Battleforge remains, but it has a different meaning now. It's an instant plus a max change. So I think it's just correcting some of the systemic mistakes that we made with it, and then keeping the core loop as intact as possible.
Yeah, and I think when we looked at we have this Corpus delivery and we have the Call Tempestari, and this is all Railjack stuff, and that has a long tail of development leading to that. I think increasingly we felt internally that we needed to make these changes for Call of Tempestari to be as successful as it deserves. And so I think
Yeah.
I personally felt like we didn't have a choice, that we really needed to face some of these issues. And so that's kind of the impetus
Oh boy.
for the change, as
Okay.
dramatic as it sounds. All the systems are there, but they've been kind of reworked, I think, as an improvement, and to fix some of the bad co-op, but keep the kind of complexity. This is the most complex way to play the game. You've got all these dependencies. You've got someone flying. You've got someone shooting. You've got someone repairing. So all of those things remain. We're not. We're definitely not making this a bumper car. It's still pretty complicated.
Yep.
But we are smoothing it out. And
I mean, yeah, I think overall it's good for Railjack, of course. So I'm just wondering what's beyond that. So.
I mean, there's so much. I mean, are we going into like the game modes? Like,
I think for this, that's going to be more the dev workshop breakdown.
Okay.
But like as it stands, you saw Orp Expandum. There's going to be other game modes and things coming, and the Void
new
Storm,
game modes.
New game.
There's
modes.
actually a completely brand new one.
Oh boy,
returning. Yep.
Like that. Like, I mean, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to play new game modes. You know.
Yeah.
And you're seeing like the capital ships, are going to be attacking like they were in our TennoCon demonstrations. We're going to have Void Storms rolling in, like we saw in the TennoCon demo. So we're kind of delivering on things that we didn't really get the time to do before. So that's going to be part of. Well, on PC is going to be a little earlier, and then of course.
Right. Yeah. BC will talk about it first, basically.
Right.
Which is story and lore and the things that for a certain audience who really are desperate to see the story of the game advance, and that's what Call of Tempestari is going to be doing. But we're shipping first on PC because our beautiful PC audience can get hot fixed by the hour, and we are making
right, because we're beta testers.
Help to,
and that's not being sarcastic. I mean, we basically are for these changes.
I love the idea of the fact that
there is the test cluster, but still
SimShip, because it won't
Sim
be
ship.
if you're
No
a player.
spoilers,
There's no spoilers, exactly. There's no
right,
chance.
yeah.
Everyone's going to get it at the same time.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you're a console player, you'll be able to, you might see those, design changes come earlier to Railjack, but you won't have to avoid the forums for story spoilers because we're going to sim-fit that.
Unify the emotional weight of what's coming with Call of the Tempestari, because you'll all get to, you all.
I have a lot of unified emotional weight.
I was gonna say, wow.
Emotional weight.
I need to shed some of that, but that's all right.
All right. We'll move into a next question from Tactical Potato. Question 1.
Oh.
Guns versus melee.
Tactical
Are there
Potato.
any plans-
Knew he was going to ask that.
Hey, Tactical Potato.
Knew
Are
it.
there any plans to bring the damage of primary and secondary weapons up in line with our melee scaling to balance things out, or are you happy with the gulf between weapons?
We are not happy.
Okay, that's good.
There's been many YouTube videos that have demonstrated the absurdity that is the melee in the steel path. Going back to your video you made, Reb, about you could play the whole steel path with the smashing knee. You made an entire video of that.
A lot of
Joe,
ad revenue.
And before
Joe,
melee nerf. And before melee nerf,
worked on
yeah.
these systems
Man.
Daily. Took that to heart a lot and has been spending a lot of time making changes without necessarily directly nerfing melee, but looking at mods that can be added to the primary and secondary system that will bring those up to the level of melee, but maybe dropping melee in a not necessarily a power but a functional way as well. So a lot of the
I do think primary and
stances
secondary
combos,
weapons eat
every
buffs.
hit was a stagger or stun, which is basically free CC all the time. So looking at going through each of the attacks and the stances and potentially removing some of the staggers and stuns that are just built into every hit.
I don't know if people are going to like this, honestly, though.
He's pitched probably.
I mean, I can understand
3 or 4
why,
different,
but yeah.
3 or 4, probably 10 different mods that mod changes plus additional mods that are going to be added to the primary and secondary pool, plus some changes to some of the melee ones. We're also looking at, Jeff will appreciate this, is bringing down the attack rate of melee is one of the things we're also looking at.
Oh boy.
Because Well, that's what Jeff
I've only
hates
been
it.
saying that for years, but
It's fine.
it's fine. It's fine.
2022, Jeff is in charge of balance.
I would say just buff the
Good luck,
guns.
Jeff.
I think that's the solution.
So I think
So-
we totaled it all up, and I think it's somewhere around 230% attack speed you can get now on melee by combining all of the different mods that
All right,
we've
I'll be right back.
released over the years and the prime.